Stage 13 of the Giro D'Italia took the riders further north into the Veneto. Rovigo all the way to Vicenza. Primož Roglic and company taking on the same finishing circuit as the Giro del Veneto. A stage win up for grabs. Would it be for the sprinters, those classics type riders, or maybe even GC riders? At the neutralised start, the pink jersey was once again worn by Isaac del Toro, who began the day with a 33-second lead over his teammate Juan Ayuso. A mostly flat stage, 1,600 metres to climb, split over 4 classified climbs, the final one coming at the finish line. A Red Bull kilometre at Cugnano. That was always going to be interesting, 10 kilometres from the finish. Once the flag was waved, the wind was blowing from the side. Cue an exceptionally entertaining start. The first attacks took a few hundred metres to come, but when they came, they were fast. 9 riders got up the road eventually. It took 20 kilometres for the break to be formed, but it was a strong break, including a couple of former Giro d'Italia stage winners, such as Dries de Bont. Hamilton was there, Magli too. Q36.5 wanted to win with Tom Pidcock. Visma Lease Bike and Lidl Trek trying to give options to Wout van Aert and Mads Pedersen, respectively. No more than 2 minutes was the gap allowed. It sneaked up to 2:30 at one stage, but was always controlled as the breakaway was starting to fall out a little over the intermediate sprints. Ciccone and company waited and watched behind, and the peloton was in one long line. There was a 50 kilometers per hour speed for the first couple of hours. De Bont continued to battle with Bais and Magli for those intermediate sprints. Tom Pidcock was preparing for the finale, which included a couple of classified climbs. 70 k's to go. A threat of rain in the distance, but as the gap came down, the road stayed dry. Onto the climbs. Ineos Grenadiers really tried to do something, and they detonated the gap. The break brought back in no time, but there was one survivor, Lorenzo Germani of Groupama FDJ, going away. And there was suddenly a gap. GC riders in trouble. The Maglia Rosa safe, his teammate Juan Ayuso needing to be pedalled back with quite a few of the other stage contenders. Mads Pedersen returning as well with 46 k's to go. Not just climbs, but descents were really causing problems. Over the top of the penultimate categorized climb, Cristian Scaroni went across. The star of the early season for XTS Astana and a big point scorer, but as Wout van Aert also came back to the bunch, they were about to get organised behind. Scaroni and Germani set about trying to increase their gap. 45k still remain, and the finishing circuit was always going to be explosive. Onto that circuit they went, a gap of 36 seconds coming down from the nigh on minute they had, and with the bell ringing, they were still fighting. Germani left on the climb. The peloton trying to put a lid on things as much as they could, but that was only temporary. Again, they continue to ride. UAE taking over. Scaroni had waited for a while, and he regained contact with the man he'd left behind. But for a second time, he went. He took 6 bonus seconds at the Red Bull sprint, and then it was Del Toro and Ayuso, both of them going, and then Del Toro seeming to ease up. Ayuso taking the 4, the race leader taking 2. Then an attack. Vacek and Bardet going on the move on the descent. Vacek doing most of the work on the flat. Bardet having piloted downhill. And with 3.5 kilometers to go, they had 16 seconds. Starting the climb, it was just a handful of seconds. It didn't look like it was going to be enough for the Bardet goodbye fairy tale of a Giro stage win. Effectively, they were caught 400 metres to go. Alpecin de Koenig leading out. And Edward Plankert doing that. On his wheel was the Maglia Rosa. Van Aert had made it up there, as had Pedersen, but Carapaz, Bernal and the rest were hanging about. Ayuso holding on, Roglic looking better as well. On the right in the Maglia Ciclamino, Mars Pedersen, what a warrior he is! But look at this, still going, and now Pedersen goes, now Pedersen has it. Does Del Toro have the kick? We know he can sprint, we know he's fast, but not with these guys, not with these guys. It's a heavyweight clash at the top of Monteberrico, and it's Mars Pedersen versus Wout van Aert. Van Aert tried his best to come around, it's Pedersen all the way to the line. How about that? Mars Pedersen, what a warrior. 4 up for him. Van Aert is beaten, but there's more bonus seconds in third place again for Isaac Del Toro. What an incredible finish. 3 options to go for it for Lidl Trek, but it was the man who won 3 before that. 4 stages up for him, 5 for the team. Van Aert a close second, and Del Toro not only picking up 4 bonus seconds, but also gapping the rest of the GC contenders to take extra seconds too. Pedersen doing it again then. 3 extra seconds for Del Toro and the rest of the GC guys. And a 5th stage win for Lidl Trek. A 4th for magnificent Mars Pedersen. Over halfway in the race, but still with the Alps to come, it's a 38-second gap now for Del Toro over teammate Ayuso. Tiberi now at 1:18. And another pink jersey, a 5th for the young Mexican, the youngest leader of the Giro this century. Stage 14 takes the riders over the border and into Slovenia, beginning in Treviso and finishing up in Nova Gorica, the other side of the Italian city of Gorica. Of course, it's Slovenian side, a city that was divided for much of its time. It'll be a fascinating day for Roglic and company, but this one, on paper, could be one for the sprinters. Climb at the end might throw a spanner in the works. You can watch it on TNT Sports.